All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Modulator Bay, my new monthly show that I'll be doing all year round instead of my regular Mr. Basic Live. And one thing that this is going to center around is talking to and about other people that are doing the same thing as moi and Ya over there who are watching. And there's some new and interesting things going on in the world of music and music production in the last 30 years, many changes and whatnot. And the many changes I think that are coming up at this point in this era is what some are calling stream era. This point in time where we can all talk to each other real time, and we can all see each other in our houses, in our bedrooms, and attics and basements, and what we do with ourselves and what we're doing and whatnot. And although YouTube has most recently become a lot of TV and a lot less you and me, I believe that we can still connect in many ways here and let each other know, let us all know who are looking for each other and looking for to see experiences of like people doing like things, that this is the place and this is the time. And there has never been a better time for making music grassroots wise and watching other people's music and sounds and sound design and all sorts of things like that you otherwise wouldn't hear, who aren't celebrities and who haven't made it to the top of some industry. And in my lifetime, I've seen the big bad music industry of the past just be completely toppled. And because of that, I'm very optimistic about everything. In terms of us seeing each other and seeing each other's music and being able to communicate on platforms like this and the technology of the internet, it makes it so. So today, without any further ado, I have for you. Nice to see you here, Zana Frederick. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a good talk. I have for you Mr. Audios Ergeon Moogcraft right here.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Very, very good. How are you doing today?
Doing good. I want to wish you a happy New Year.
Oh yeah, happy New Year! Happy New Year! I never even said that.
Awesome. 2020. It's crazy.
2020. Hindsight.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just looking forward anyway.
Oh yeah, me too.
So okay, so this guy, I've been watching his channel, and he's been watching mine for quite some time now, and just like me, he is not afraid to make a comment on somebody's channel and say, "Hey, that was great," and what's going on and stuff like that. And so yeah, he's one of us. I'd have to say.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna have a drink, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you now.
Sure.
Now that I've got my camera situated in a way where I'm not talking to you like this.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I'm trying to like look at you, but then my camera's up here, so
yeah,
I'll try to go back and forth.
Yeah, so you've got a lot. What I enjoy about your channel is that you've got a lot of live streams on there that are longer form. What I tend to be really frustrated about, and especially when it comes to things I'm really interested in, like modular and like synths that are cool, or like vintage synths, when somebody just posts some little thing that's like 2 or 3 minutes, right? Or even 1.5 minutes, because we're all afraid that everybody just has such a short attention span, and that YouTube says we're not going to show this to anybody if it's in the least bit drags on in any kind of way without you talking or something at the same time, whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
It's I appreciate that.
YouTube can be tough for that kind of situation, because when you're on there and you're just kind of messing around and stuff, even if you're doing live stuff at the very beginning, you might not even have one viewer. So, for me, when I get on there, I just like to do what I'm doing. I try not to even think of the camera. I just kind of put it up in the corner, and I just do my thing. And sometimes I'll be doing something that doesn't make any sense at all. It just doesn't sound good. The song is going nowhere. And then just out of nowhere, after about like 45 minutes or an hour in, I have something really cool. Like, I think even that last song I posted, Vents, like, it didn't come to me in like 15 minutes. It kind of came to me after I messed around with some stuff, and I got like just the right sounds in there. And it's something that takes time to kind of craft and to work. You have to mold it, especially with the modular gear.
Yeah, that's a real goal of mine moving forward, is just to have that sort of a discipline and that consciousness of like, okay, and to be able to first of all record everything always would be great, but you can't always do that. But like, and then to be able to take things from that and then successfully use them, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That you are working somewhat in the PC environment still, right? Like the Machina and that.
Yeah, that's mostly what I use to how do you say, I work with not usually the DAW necessarily, but with the machine, it has like its own kind of like groove box in there and everything. You can kind of load everything in there. You can sample, but mostly when I'm crafting the songs, I'm using machine. And then when I go into recording it, the best software that I use for recording, I think I use Ableton. I tried using Cubase before, but for some reason it keeps taking control of my complete control keyboard. But then I just record in Ableton, just just as a recording device, which works the best. But
yeah, Ableton was the one that I used the most. Yeah, I went with the Launch Control XL and the Launch Pad for controlling everything, because I wanted that tactile experience and stuff. And I really like working with clips, actually. I made a groove box out of tracks in Ableton in order to have like a drum set to go on. Like there was the kick on one, and and then so I would just kind of like try to make a drum machine out of that before I got the circuit.
Yeah, and I tried using drum machines before. I had like just a basic Akai. I think it was a Timberwolf. No, that's the actual synthesizer. I forget the other one, but it
Yeah.
it
Or
was
the
a
cat or something.
yeah, the cat one. I remember that one too. I used that one. It was kind of nice, but I kind of wanted more realistic sounding drums. I do like analog, the way it sounds. I have to do some tweaking on my Mother 32 to kind of make like a drum out of that, but it just kind of overall has the best of both worlds, the digital, which is the computer side, and then of course the analog version of like if I want to incorporate some of my other gear with it as well through MIDI.
Yeah, what really like tweaked my interest. One big thing when I saw your channel first was that 3-tier rack, and the fact that you had the 3 Mother 32s
Yeah.
there. I mean, that's just like a dream. Like I would totally do that. I mean, I went with the DFAM fam myself, but like, uh, man, the thing about the sound of the Mother 32 is
Oh
just
yeah.
amazing. I thought about the Minotaur too, but the
Mhm.
Mother 32 has an excellent sound, and all the Moog stuff. I'm a huge fan.
And I started off with just those 332s. It was kind of funny. I was looking at them and I was, considering getting just one. And I was thinking, well, it might be the only chance that I ever get to buy like a really good synth, like especially all three all together. So I just kind of went for it. And then after that, I kind of just I got hooked on it, so I couldn't stop.
Yeah, totally. I know how you feel, because like the
Yeah.
thing is, I just these last 3 years, it was 3 years ago that I kind of realized that synthesizers were things that you could actually kind of like tweak to make sounds with, and they didn't just have sounds on them, right?
Yeah, I kind of didn't know that at first too. I was thinking like when I first got the the Mode 32s, I was like, okay, it's kind of like a piano. I can play all the keys, right? And there's only one voice on it. And it took me a minute to kind of like think, okay, well, yeah, I remember I used to mess around with FL Studios, and some of the instruments only had one sound you can make, and I was like, okay, I think I kind of get the idea now. You can combine the 3 if you want, or you can just go with one of them, and then make some really unique sounds out of it.
Yeah. So have you tried to make polyphony with it somehow?
There's different ways of doing it. I think you can just chain them together and they can sequence each other. But I also have a MIDI. It's a Connect MIDI plus 4 that you can actually chain it to a which is polyphony. I'm sorry, I can't say it. Polyphony. You can actually play them like all 3 keys if you want on your keyboard or something like that, and they'll play together.
I saw Loopop do a video on. Yeah. Yeah, totally. So
I haven't really messed around with that too much, but individually, like they're just awesome. I mean, it's so cool you can do with them. I mean, the range that they have on there, you can go from the lowest note, all the sub basses and everything like that, and then to the highest note, which actually it can hurt your ears. It goes up so high.
Yeah. I actually, there's a lot of people that I've tried to follow people online who have played, who play the Mother 32s. Well, who play them actually more like you do. But really, I mean, you have 3. Of course, you're going to experiment and use all those patch bays and do all the things you can do that way. But yeah, also Alistair Wilson is one of my favorite people on like ever. Like for ambient soundscapes and things like that. He generally does videos that are half hour to 45 minutes long or so, and they're always like generative, just leave it alone sort of things. And it's like a Mother 32 or 2 with other things, and then pedals for effects.
Yeah, they are really good for like soundscapes and stuff. If you do like soundscape, if you do just kind of like sound designing with it, and you create like a lot of good ambient type music. I kind of have this thing where I imagine it's like instead of categorizing like a soundscape, I kind of think of like a sound space. Like it just has that space to it. It's
Yeah.
just so big.
Uh-huh. That's why I was trying to kind of like recreate that here.
Yeah,
Sort of like similar things that of like if you were on a spaceship sort of thing is what I was just doing.
yeah.
But
In some of the stuff you're doing, like I hear, it's really neat. Like you have like that drop, like it sounds like the raindrops or like the dropping coming from the what is it, plats?
yeah.
It's really neat, and that's what fascinates me about like the modular stuff. I haven't really gotten too deep into like patching the Mother 32s. I mean, I've done some things here and there, but with modular gear, like completely modular, this is semi-modular. I can still play it without patching it, but that really fascinates me, how you get from the VCO to a filter, and then you kind of chain everything together, and you're creating everything from scratch. And so
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. I like to do that in VCV Rack, the software. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Software modular environment. I have like you have all the modules in the world to work with, and so you can like experiment and stuff like that. Here, I'm just kind of like bread and butter, trying to just make just synths, like sequence into synths into effects, and that's it. And so I'm kind of cheating by
Mm-hmm.
having things like plats that are just it's a whole synth in and of itself, and
Oh, okay. No,
but
that's
like literally I don't have any VCAs and I don't have any filters. Like
mm-hmm.
Platts has low pass gates, and so it kind of acts as a low pass filter if you want to and stuff like that. But yeah, the thing is, like I found this as a way to have synthesizers, and I thought it was a really cool way to have my synthesizers. But
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's cool to have synthesizers too. With keyboards. I was just always trying to find a way to have them all there in a good ergonomic way.
Sure, and to have like one good keyboard to kind of play them all with, and that's also very nice too. Like if you have too many keyboards, like I actually had a couple other synthesizers, I didn't really use them as much, so like I started just collecting stuff, and then I was thinking like well I could trade it in or sell it for something that that I really want, and then I got like this sub 37, and that thing really blows my mind. I mean,
Yeah, it blows my
things you
mind
can do on
too.
that too.
That
It's so cool.
I've been totally gassing on that again because here's the deal: is the Poly D just came out, right?
Yeah, I
The
heard about that.
character Poly D. Okay, so I'm looking at that, and that's cool, and that's cool, and then it's like, okay, but the polyphony when you're trying to play it, it's gonna always do that. It's always gonna be like that. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it's like what I really do like that Moog sound, but I think for a polyphonic synth, I'd still want to go with like a peak or a hydra synth or something that's like
Yeah,
really polyphonic, like really polyphonic.
you talking about the Hydrosynth? That thing looks really cool.
Yeah.
And isn't it all digital? They said it's all digital, but like the thing sounds like
Well,
analog.
yeah, I think it might actually have analog filters or a few other things, but yeah, it's mostly digital. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing
Yeah.
looks neat. I mean, they just came out with it too, right? I mean, it was right
Yeah.
before the holidays, I think.
Yeah. And
And
so I
they
really want it. Yeah.
they really blew away a lot of people with it. So that's what I heard. It's really really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. I'm gonna highlight one of the cool thing I can do at StreamYard. Oh yeah. Zana Frederick says you guys are awesome. I love your show. Cool. See, this StreamYard thing is pretty cool. I really like the fact that this. I mean, I'm a nerd about a lot of things, but some things I just don't want to think about how complicated they are. And streaming has been I've been nervous about it, but like a service like this makes it really nice.
Yeah, it's really simple. Yeah, it's really neat that you can just hook right into this. It's right in the how do you call it, the browser, and it's really easy. You just you can talk and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you are you especially into wavetables? Do you know anything about like wavetables? Have you had any experience with that before? We were talking about the Hydra synth.
No, not really. Is that like a new way that they do it?
Well,
Or are
yeah,
you talking about?
the Hydra synth is actually a wavetable synth. It's basically using like you have a wave and then another wave and a different wave and a different wave and just a whole bank of them, and
Oh,
then
okay, yeah.
it oscillates between them like that. You know.
Yeah, I think I heard them talking about that. They were saying like, yeah, it uses different waves to create the sound, and then you can layer them.
Yeah, and so that's why it's digital, because it's really only in the digital world that you do things like that, that you can do
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. And there's some good software synths like Arturia Pigments, um, and well, ones that other people have used for a long time too that I'm not really familiar with. I didn't get into the box too much, into working in the computer too much with plugins and stuff like that, but I always tried to keep up to date on what was going on, and I used Arturia's stuff, the V collection, and
Yeah, it's fun to kind of mess around with the software, but then after a while, it kind of wears on you. Like that's why it's kind of neat to go back to like a hardware synth. Like I remember when I used FL Studios. This must have been like 2004, 2005. I started kind of getting good with it, and the thing that is kind of how do you say wearing about it is that you're always using the mouse and keyboard. You're not really getting personal with the actual instrument, and there's some good things about it, but there's nothing better than feeling a keyboard and instantly getting that gratification you get out of a synthesizer. Even a modular synthesizer like you have is really cool. I mean, just to mess with that with hours and hours and just think of all the cool things you can do with it. It's much more complex and much more how do you say you feel like you're part of it.
yeah, exactly.
That's what. Mhm.
Imperfect. Great to see you here. Great to have you here. I may or may not have said that already. But yeah, but I am really, yeah, I'm really happy you said that, because that's the thing, is that's what it seems like we all kind of like feel this thing inside that we know that we miss, or that we itch. And I think it has something to do with like just that music is in the moment, that creativity is about like being in the moment and feeling something that's happening in the moment, maybe.
Mhm.
And when you're trying to make something in like FL Studio or something like that, it's like um, there doesn't have to be a moment. You can just do something and go like, all right, well, I'll fix it, and just make it like this, make it a little bit more like that, which is cool, because that's kind of like what you do in modular. You just modulate everything after you start getting it going, and then you explore more and do more like that. So it's kind of an exploration thing. And so I'm not like totally like poo-poo, working in a DAW. It's just that I have more of an itch to do this stuff, just like hands-on stuff, because of the being in the moment. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the thing that I would say is if you're just beginning or just starting off, it's always good to get good with the software first, because once you get all the hardware and you're trying to figure out how to record it, and you're trying to figure out how to get all that extra stuff in there that you want to add, maybe like some VST plugins, some reverb or something like that. If you don't know how to do it, you get really frustrated, and then
Yeah.
you got to go learn the software. And so that's a whole nother thing to go down.
Yeah. I was also influenced by the fact that my computer was always kind of in the outs, or not very good, not good enough, so I was having problems with my actual computer.
Yeah, it can be kind of tough on the CPU, especially when you're doing a lot of stuff at once. I mean, a lot of different sounds, a lot of different things on there. I noticed that it'll start to crackle and the sound kind of goes in and out if you're really putting it, a lot of power on that CPU when you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, PK, nice to see you. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, but nice to see you here as well. He just started live streaming on both YouTube and Twitch as well, and restreams both. So you can find him both places there. And PK is awesome as well. He is working on modular most of the time on that, or all the time, as far as I can tell, and that's cool too. We're all starting to stream, I think.
It's neat that Twitch, you can just kind of jump in and do your thing, and you don't have to worry about going on too long and whatnot, because people can just see it in the moment rather than come back and watching like a 3-hour video or something like that. So it is kind of neat to do stuff on Twitch as well. I was looking into it. It might be kind of cool to start doing stuff on there. I think you were talking about that as well.
Yeah, I'm starting this month. That's one of my big things, is like I'm gonna stop streaming here so much, except for to do these streams, maybe focus on some other people, besides just myself, and do this once a month, and then go to Twitch and just just do what I wanted to do on here, but really couldn't because of the algorithm and stuff. Because of what YouTube is, I can't just. And there's ways in which I can't just be me and just sit here and just be. There's things that I feel like I have to worry about, like worry about being boring or something like that. And on Twitch, I feel like there's more of just people still,
And you have the same name, Mr. Basic, the same as on YouTube.
Mr. Basic Sound is
Sound.
actually
Okay,
what
Mr.
it
Basic.
is. And I'll later I'll link my Discord in the description and my Twitch.
Oh, that's cool. You got a Discord as well too.
Yeah, but I'm gonna this in the description of this, along with your information that's already there. It should be of where you can find your music and all that. I'll also later link my Discord and my Twitch, so you can see. But that's for the first time ever because that's
Cool.
I started doing it. I just tested last week, and it was such a great stream. But like I told you earlier about it, it's sad that when you have such a great time and do such this great thing on Twitch, that then it's gone. Not like here on YouTube where they save it.
Yeah,
and you can get to where you can get online, videos on demand on Twitch, but I'm not to that point. I think it's affiliate. You get that or something like that. I don't know.
I think it keeps it for maybe like a few days. You can choose to do that, but yeah, you're right. I think it bumps it after a while.
Yeah, maybe I just have to learn it better.
Yeah, I don't really know much about it either, but yeah. I've watched some stuff on there, so it's kind of neat. They have a cool platform on there, and anybody can see what you're doing, and I think they have like a whole system where they can donate and stuff on there too. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I think it is very friendly to people directly donating who are viewers, which I really like that idea, because it's like almost like YouTube could have maybe gone that direction more, but I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
YouTube's kind of getting scary, but I don't know. So like I mentioned, some links to your music is going to be in the description. So you are actually offering it up. I'm not to the point of having gone to any platforms or Spotify or SoundCloud or anything like that, or uploaded music. I've opened up a Bandcamp, not done anything on it yet. But anyway, so you are actually have offered up to the world some songs and some music here. I myself haven't listened to any except for on YouTube, all your live streams on YouTube, and that's what I'm trying to get through now. And it's like there's a lot of good stuff already. But so I was wondering, getting into the meat of it, like how you feel about is there like a main type of thing that's like what the type of music or type of sound or type of thing that you're really passionate about, that's like that's me, or are you just going from project to project and doing different stuff?
It's kind of interesting. Like a lot of the stuff I do, I don't even really think about it. If usually I start like an album, I'll start off with like a soundscape. I'll just kind of like mess around with some sounds, and then that's kind of my inspiration to kind of like go with like how the album might feel. And then I'll just kind of start messing around with like a melody at first, and then when the melody comes in, I'll maybe add some drums and things like that. But I usually don't plan it. It just kind of happens that way. But it's kind of neat having stuff on like iTunes, Spotify. There's some services out there that can do it for free. So you don't have to really pay for it. There's one, I think it's called amuse.io. They'll do it for free. They'll actually just put your stuff right up on there, and you can collect royalties from it. But to be honest with you, I haven't really made anything on that. So I kind of put it up for my own good. A lot of times when I'm just want to listen to something, I'll put one of my songs on, and then it kind of gives me like an idea like how it sounds, and I'll remind myself like, oh, that's kind of a neat song that I did. Or like maybe I'll do something better next time, or maybe I'll add this, or maybe I should change something. But I really don't have any way of doing it. I guess it just kind of randomly happens. I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's great. No, that's the thing. That's the thing is what I believe about good music comes out of like. It comes out of us listening. It's not like, oh, I created this poof. It's like. It comes out of how you're feeling. It comes out of a moment. It comes out of whatever you're inspired by. and it doesn't, it can define, it can end up defining you however it comes out, instead of you having to think about it beforehand.
Yeah, and the thing is once you decide that you want to do that kind of stuff, though, don't think like, oh, I'm gonna get like millions of listens and this is gonna happen like right away, because to be honest with you, it's slow. It starts off very, very slow. A lot of people think they might get lucky or something like that, and they, you might, it depends on how people like your music and whatnot. But just getting it out there, I even have like little cards. Let me see. I even try to hand these out, but it's really hard to even get people
Cool.
to get free music. But
Oh, that's awesome. I totally do that.
yeah, I was thinking it's cool. You can go online, you can make cards and stuff like that. But even still, it's really hard to get people to actually listen to it. You can tell them, hey, I got free music, and then they'll just be like, okay, I'll take it, and then they never listen to it. You can see no one ever goes on there.
Well, I went to a modular event. I could have like had a business card there. That's a good time.
That's probably that's probably the best place to do it, honestly.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a day and age in which people aren't paying for music much. We pay for services, but even then, those services, you're not gonna get rich off of that.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you're not gonna make money selling your music as much as you're gonna make money doing other things related to music. And what I was going to say is a lot of people, make sample packs and patch packs that make a lot more money doing that than they ever would selling their music, even though their music is good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Or I mean, the way I kind of do it is I kind of have this as like it's my hobby, and so any kind of money that I put into it or that I invest in it, I do it for myself. So do it because you like it. That's probably the best thing to do. And sometimes you might go out and get some expensive piece of gear. You might not really know what you're getting into, so start small. You don't want to buy in too much or too high, and then all of a sudden be like, wow, I guess I thought it would be different. But do it at a slow pace, and just kind of enjoy it. Like take it easy.
Yeah, that's good advice for everybody now. Seeing all these new synths coming out all the time. It's like it's a golden age for synths.
And it could also be kind of in a way addicting to get gear too, because I mean there's so much cool gear out there, and that's kind of what they're trying to sell. Especially on YouTube, you see a lot of people trying to sell like their new gear and everything, or they go to those conventions and stuff. And it can become like I said, it can become one of those things where you can't stop buying into like modular gear. I seen one guy, he has a huge system. I don't know how much that thing costs, but it must cost a lot.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. That's the thing, is up until now I've been so excited about this new stuff. Marshall Arnold, nice to see you here. Marshall Arnold has had a great channel for ages. He's one of our elders.
Cool, man. We got 5 people in the room. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, I love live streaming. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about the industry and how you can't.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna want a lot of things, especially if you're into it. That's the thing. You see a lot of that cool gear, and you're like, "Wow, I want that." You're already planning a list, of things you want to get, and already there's things I've had to cross off.
Yeah. I don't think modular is very expensive. I really don't. I think like it's not any more expensive than buying a couple or a few synthesizers, right, or something like that.
That's true too. That's true.
But the mentality you have to rein in on, like, I was gonna say, up until now, I've been kind of like, well, so excited about this stuff that I just don't know when it would end. When the adding things to my studio would end. And now I do have an idea of that, because I've got, what I ended up doing is I've got all my voices taken care of that I want for to make sound different kinds. Now I just are you still there?
Yeah, it kind of went out for a minute.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's my connection.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
It might
There's going to be
it
little
might
technical
just
issues.
end.
It's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's my fault.
Well, I think
yeah,
I
to
saw.
know the end is good.
Mm-hmm.
You saw me what?
Oh, I think I still saw it on the. I'm looking on my phone. There's the stream was still going, so I think maybe it just saw a hiccup in the internet or something like that.
Cool, good. Yeah, it's a little bit choppy now, but I think we're good now. Cool.
Yeah, things are getting better.
Yeah, but see, here's the deal: is like, I still have a long ways to go because I haven't really actually spent that much money on this stuff. Most of it has been like gifts and whatnot over a large period of time, and I've also been always gotten used and been very frugal. But the thing is, I still don't have a sequencer for all my voices, and so I'm like, and then I don't have the end recording thing like the mixer like you have on the other end.
Yeah.
So I've got my middle filled out for my studio. My studio's done in the middle. And then all I need now is that Hermod sequencer to sequence my voices finally at last. Because for 3 years I've been dragging my heels on hardware sequencers that would go over MIDI to sequence like 8 synthesizers or something like that. But then I ended up getting it modular.
That's cool.
But that Tascam that you have, that's what I've been wanting.
That one right there.
Yeah. Yes, that one right there. That they made it like the classic ones, but with all the great bells and whistles. I don't know. How's your experience with that so far?
I like it a lot. I used to have an Oasis. It was a 16FX. It would only record in stereo, and you couldn't record separate channels. So anytime that you wanted to like add something to it, it would re-record all your input that's coming from your computer back into your main track. So it would like overdub like all the stuff, and then you would get like double the sound that you had before. This thing, it's all individual. You have 24 individual tracks, and some of those are stereo tracks. So you can actually put in like a stereo. Like I have a Big Sky reverb pedal, and it's got a stereo output. I can put that in and get full stereo delay, echo, like reverb effects in there that sound really, really cool. And all the other individual tracks you can then open up into your DAW and have them all record at however you want to do it. You can actually arm each one and then record on that track, and it's really neat. I mean,
yeah, you can then master that back through your mixer.
Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah. Yeah, and then master it, and then you can EQ, or you can compress and do all those things. It's all on there. It's really neat. So far, my experience with it is really cool. I really like it.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm jealous, actually, but not really, because I kind of decided against it because I'm going with this idea. I think for that, it won't even be a year from now. Like it'll be like further than that. But because I have to record now, that would be my ideal. But like just like it, the Zoom live track series.
Yeah.
And the Tascam, I think, was kind of answering that with their Model 24.
They also have, I think, a 16. I think they have a smaller version of it.
16, and that was very tempting too. But then Zoom came out with the Live Track L8, which is less, But I'm talking about a stereo from my Eurorack, a stereo from whatever my drum machine's going to be. It's circuit now, but I want to roll in 101, MC 101 eventually as my drum machine. But
so when you run all your sound through what the RC, what is it? The roll? I'm sorry. What is that one you're using to record on?
RC 505 loop tape.
RC 505. So everything that's going from your modular gear is going into that.
Yeah. Well, actually, everything is going into my stereo line mixer. That's an Alesis, just a line mixer here. There's the Eurorack, the circuit, and the System 1 when I have it on, and the Mini Brute, and my Roland XB60, and my mono station, all going through that into the RC505.
Okay, and then that connects to your computer?
Yeah, and then, but I also have my microphone going into the RC505 too.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So you mix everything up on top on the Alesis thing, and then you can go back into the RC505, and then that goes into your computer?
Yeah. Yeah, it works good. I like it.
That's cool. I was thinking even like, well, because see, I had an Alesis mixer before that, like I said, you can record in stereo, but it kind of left me with that ability to not be able to record individual tracks. It was really great. I actually really liked that mixer. But I was also at the moment even thinking like, how would it be if you had like even just like an audio interface? I know they make those professional ones. You can hook in like a lot of different inputs into it. Yeah. And I was trying to compare like what would be better, because even still like with the mixer, everything's really cool and everything, but there are some limitations, I think, because when you pull up in your properties on your computer, it kind of comes up as one device unless you're in your DAW. When you're in your DAW, you can open up all that extra stuff. But when you're actually like doing streaming and stuff, I actually had to run all my audio through my Machina, and then that would go back into my computer. So it got really confusing when I wanted to, make it work in a different way. So
right, they just want one device. Yeah, that's the thing.
So
for all, but I don't know how that works.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing.
That's really what do though. So just so it'll work in your DAW. I don't even know about other things.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you can, like I said, there's little tricks and stuff and little hacks. I'm sure you can get everything to work the way you want it, but they should have more control over it. I mean, I would probably hope that maybe in the future there'll be a better option where they can have, like, let's say you want to do a live stream and you want to see all your inputs like on your actual like StreamYard right here. It'd be kind of cool to edit all that. But I looked around, I couldn't find really any programs that would do that, kind of like a DAW. But it'd be neat if there was any way you can do it within your DAW. I mean, there might be ways. I don't really know.
Well, OBS has a mixer, and you can do more inputs, but only through one interface. Yeah.
That's actually, I was using that, and I looked into it, and I was looking, you can actually add more things in there, which is cool. OBS actually has a little bit more wiggle room in there when it comes to creating, a better mix from, you can record from your computer or you can record from different devices and stuff. So that's a step further. I think that's
when I started having to use OBS last year and got kicked in the pants to start using it and learning it. And I'm like, okay. It's like everybody, I already knew it was cool, and that's what I needed to do. But so I kind of kicked myself into gear. But I still haven't really learned it that much, just for what I needed it for so far.
Yeah, same here. I really haven't messed around with it too much. Just kind of like little stuff there, here and there.
I used to record my screen just for a video, to make a video. I did that yesterday for my January jam. I recorded my VCV rack software modular patch on the screen that I had on the screen, and then that's a video. But it's not very good quality. It's like it's really ratty quality for some reason. It's 10. It's supposed to be 1080p. I don't know what's wrong with my OBS settings or whatever, but or if it can even do it. I don't know.
Maybe it can't. I don't know. Sometimes, like I even had a GoPro, and I was thinking like, oh, it's cool. It's 4K and everything, and I'll try to figure out how to get that to go. And it's actually a lot more difficult to figure out how to stream with that thing than it would just to be to have like a webcam, or maybe there's other alternatives. But
yeah, I could do that too, and I haven't tried it. And I was thinking about trying it for maybe Twitch as a second camera, but like an action cam, is that over Bluetooth? GoPro does over Bluetooth.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about it. It does do Bluetooth, but see, the version I have, which is the 7, you have to buy an attachment to actually hook up the audio. And now the new one, I think it's already got that like already taken care of. So if you get the new one, you can just plug it right in.
Well, I got a Yi action camera, the Chinese Yi action camera.
It probably has an input, doesn't it?
But it has you can microphone input, but it's USB-C, and I got a connector to USB-C and try it, and I couldn't get it to work. But apparently it works.
Yeah. You just have to like program it or something.
Yeah, I got it so that could be my thing, and I would never have to edit together the audio and video. Right?
Yeah. That's what I was hoping too when I was first looking into the GoPro. It's cool. You can have that all in one, right? But then it becomes a little bit more of a problem. You have to figure out how to do certain things before that works. But
yeah, if you're really serious about making videos in the end, you're going to have to do video editing and just
well, I was thinking you can probably get like an HDMI card. I know that there's one. Oh man, who makes it? I forgot. But you can get an HDMI card and then just take that from your GoPro, and then you can have the sound just go from your RC505, and then that would probably work. But those cards are like $300 just for
Yeah, well, I need once again to get a new computer, even though I just got a refurbished computer for 200 and some odd bucks. Pretty damn good, but 16 megabytes of RAM and Pentium i5, but it's still not. It still meets its limit in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's true. i5, yeah. I think I had a computer that was an i5, and I was actually doing a lot of my original stuff on there. Like I think my first album I did on there, and it was just enough.
Yeah, I have to limit my modular NVCB rack because of my CPU still, but it's notorious for being CPU heavy. But so are a lot of plugins, and just one plugin, the Arturia Analog Lab, just from Analog Lab. Virtual instrument can just devastate your CPU if it's enough voices. If you're playing enough voices at a time, that could devastate it. Well, anyway, my old laptop, that was the way it was.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, definitely some of these plugins and what do you call them, VSTs, virtual instruments, they're getting more, how do you say, more advanced, I would say. There's some really nice ones too that Native Instruments has that I mean they really sound like they're coming from a modular synthesizer. I don't know how they do it, but it's really cool.
Yeah,
and that can be a big toll on your computer. It's probably calculating a lot of numbers and stuff too.
Cool. So do you have any upcoming plans for the year of how you're gonna do things any differently, or you got any goals?
Let me see. I just finished that Vent song. That was like 3 months ago though. So I haven't been on YouTube in a while. Maybe next week, since I got some time off, it might be kind of cool to mess around with some stuff, see if I can get some ideas going. So maybe
it's January.
Yeah, I know it's January. That's really cool. Everybody's doing that, and I have to do some stuff for January.
Do stuff. Yeah.
You already did. You already did a couple of videos already too, huh?
Yeah, but it's day 3, and I haven't done my one for today yet. So I could just take a clip of what we do here, but or just call this it. But no. The point is just to is that I learned last year and the year before that from doing it just how completely and not a mental struggle it is to sit down and just jam. Once you do it, you realize that every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sometimes I'll have to kind of like tell myself, let's just go and try something and just go with it. Cause you know, you might not be in the mood to make a song, or like you're thinking like, oh, I don't have any ideas or anything like that. But to kind of like sometimes to force yourself into it, you might be surprised what you get. But you know, it depends how you know, how you do your process and how you do things and whatnot. Cause sometimes even just to do that though, you'll just get frustrated though if you try to force yourself to do something. So I don't know. I guess it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, totally. Well, we've been on for about 50 minutes here. I wanted to keep this show to close to an hour as possible. So I wanted to just let you know I'm really happy that you're my first guest ever that I'm doing, and I know that I don't have too many subscribers here, but the subscribers I do have are the right people. I have the right subscribers. I have the right viewers and
No,
people who
that's
are
awesome.
afterwards.
That's awesome. Yeah, sometimes you know, the subscribers don't matter. It's just doing it and having fun and all that. That's why when I saw your channel, I remember the first time I was watching one of your live streams. It was really neat. I mean, you had like a combination of playing, jamming, and then talking. And there's some, I mean, not very many people actually doing that kind of format. There's some people that just talk. There's some people that just jam, but you have like an interesting combination of it. So it's, and plus you're interesting. I mean, honestly, I found you really interesting when I saw your channel, everything you're doing and all that stuff. It's really cool.
Cool. Yeah, I like to practice on camera and keep practicing and getting better at doing all of that stuff. And I really it's basically what your sound is like. I mean, there's a lot of space, but you also do songs and music all throughout, and you break into doing songs like while you're live. It just comes out, and I really, and just seeing that and experiencing that from another channel is always just, that's what I'm looking for. You know, it's just what I'm looking for, and it's really hit the spot a lot of times.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
And also,
And,
there was a song you were doing, the banana. And it's funny. You were doing some sort of song like that was pretty cool, man. You were doing something that was like with that beat step or something. I forget what you called it. That was really creative. Honestly, I never see anybody do like, you know, things like that. That's
yeah,
just really creative.
yeah, yeah, thanks. That I literally got like totally inspired by my daughter one afternoon, just sitting on the couch with her. It's just like, oh my gosh, let's do a knock knock song. Do a knock knock song, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we can share our enthusiasm on this wonderful platform. And thank you everybody for showing up today. Thank you Imperfect and Zana and PK and Marshall and everybody who's watching afterwards.
Thank you everybody for showing up too. It was really fun.
Yeah. And go and check out our information in the description for our music and various things where you can find us online. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. Audios Ergeon Moogcraft. Until next time. And I'm going to just jam us out on that jam we came in on.
See you guys.
See ya.